What is this ancient quality called Da that they speak about in ancient China? And how can this idea or concept be applied in your daily life in a way where people are attracted to you and you just have that charisma? Let's get it.
Yeah. I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today we're talking about Da. So Da, or DE, gets translated to the West as virtue. It means an inner power or an integrity or a charisma in Taoism. It's more of a social morality in Confucianism. It's more of that quality or that merit or doing virtuous deeds in Buddhism. So in a way, we already understand that there's different ways of holding and understanding what virtue really means. What does virtue mean to you? To me, virtue means that it's a strength. It is something that we can use and guide ourselves towards the path, the Tao, the way of our lives. When we're in harmony with our mind and our body working together fluidly, we enter the state. Da is essential in how we flow, and it's very particular to our own essence. Our own essence is the beingness that we carry forward, okay, the energy that we have. It's very natural to look at Da as something more internal and a personal power to each individual. Can't really cut it down to judgment and force yourself to try to fit into society's standards when you have this Da. It sort of gives you this quality of completely enveloping yourself and being the cause point of your decisions. What does authentic virtue look like to you personally? Let me know in the comments. By the way, guys, I want to thank you guys for the 900 subs, and I tried to post a video yesterday. It was breaking down Lil Uzi Vert's flow state, but they didn't allow me to post that, so I'm creating a Patreon/flow state activation. Go and join that. It's only $8 a month. You're gonna get those secret videos that I post, okay? Let's get it, upward spiral. Try and see what ideas or concepts you interconnect with. Understand what matters to you in the bigger picture and in your relationships. You need to understand both sides of yourself, your duality of beingness, in order to connect with your Da. You don't want to be so much in your Da, so authentic that you isolate yourself into a cave, and you don't want so much Da that you just balance it out to one side and you're just being inauthentic with your Da, and you're trying to maintain it, but it's not really flourishing in a sense, okay? I think the best way to maintain your Da is to follow the path of honesty, being true to yourself, okay? Being true to you, being true to yourself. So you want this flow between your personal essence and your social essence, okay? That quality will give you that charisma or that Da. So abuse is when the power to define something has been taken away from you. When you're abused, you're unable to be your own person because you're so disconnected. You become so disconnected to your own essence. The thing here is to release any and all abuse from your life. Only dash of judgment that you keep is that discernment that keeps you grounded and protected in your own beingness. So the thing that blocks Da, we understand, is force or abuse, or the power that starts to be taken away from you because we start to disconnect from our own essence when we're abused. It undercuts Da, it stifles Da. This is why walking away from abuse can be one of the most difficult things you have to do, but one of the most empowering things that you can do for yourself. In an expression of our virtue, we see all the angles that it takes to improve upon ourselves. A lot of people in today's generation are too numb to even realize whether they've lost that social grace or that personal essence. It's about becoming intuitive and instinctual to really know when you're maintaining that virtue and whether you're expressing with that virtue or not. You could be virtuous, but if you're not expressing with that, it's not the fact that you want to signal virtue, right? Like there's virtue signaling out there. It's the fact that you're actually living and embodying that virtue, right? Like it's a part of your beingness, a part of your personal essence and the social essence. You need the conscious mind grounded with your physical body. Obviously, the concept of Wu Wei is very linked to flow state. Wu Wei is directly linked to having Da. So both are required to live a good life. Wu is effortless action, and Da is that virtue or that internal power. You gotta relentlessly act on your authenticity and honesty, okay? When you have a combination of both. During Wu, your mind doesn't consider your body as separate. It considers it as mind and body as one. So this wood carver needs to create this giant bell. His process for creating this giant bell is he fasts for 7 days, so he basically stops even noticing the body. At a certain point, he just walks into the woods and he just finds the right tree that is meant to make that bell. And this is just an automatic process, right? That just takes over him. He doesn't need to think about it. He's just feeling into the doingness and the beingness of it. I mean, of course, this guy is in flow state. If he's not eating for 7 days, he's completely enveloped in his own focus, or he's clearly, there meditating on something. This goes to show you the different links and the different stories that are out there that help us in the modern times to consolidate this information. To reach a state where you really get lost in your work, you have to love it, okay? You have to actually enjoy it. And that's another thing is like we stop enjoying our lives, so we're not in flow with our lives. So you're going to have to start to enjoy life again. And you do this by living your values on a daily basis. You live your values on a daily basis. Da and Wu is not about going to heaven. It's about creating heaven on earth. It's about being drunk on heaven in the now. When you have both, you can confidently trust and guide your own decision making, and you can also charmingly implement them in the outside world. Now that you've generated it internally, you know you have that virtuous gift to give. Because when you act based on your truest values, you're not trying to rationalize some weird conceived plan for yourself. To connect to Da, you must be connected to your unconscious mind. To be connected to Wu and Da, you must be connected to your unconscious mind. The result is someone who acts with charm, someone who acts with integrity, and someone who can take the right decisions. However, this is the way that I perceive it. In the West, that is a part of the social essence. To give results, to be productive, to, add to society. And it wasn't as important in Lao Tzu's day to do those things, right? And it was more, since these people were closer to nature, they could have a better understanding of that stuff too. So I think as long as you're acting in accordance to your own truth and your own sense of this universal divine power that is coming in and it's guiding you towards some path, you gotta just follow that. You just gotta be able to open your mind to new discovery, new exploration, new pathways that are forming in your brain, you see? And to be virtuous, you must have some virtues, you must have some strengths that you really believe in and that you feel like, yes, this will add value to my life and I'm living through my values. I'm not just trying to add value. Like a lot of people nowadays, they try to add value rather than pulling out their intrinsic value or the value internally that they already have and they already possess. What is it that will give you the most meaning in life? Because you got to create that meaning. What's the point of all of this? You have to create that point. You have to be the set point and say that this is what it is, this is what I'm going to do. Okay? That personal power, I think, is really important. And we need to reassess our goals and really think like, is this an attainable goal? Is this even something that I want? Or is this something that society's pushed me to make sure that this is what I want? Okay? Do you just want to be another Gary Vee or Tony Robbins? No. You want to be someone uniquely you, your fingerprint, your blueprint here on this planet. And you can't do that by trying to copy everybody else. You got to master your Da, or your Wu. That's your personal essence, your spirit, right? Pull that essence and quality out of you, and the rest will follow. That's what they're saying. And I think this is a powerful concept. A lot of these concepts are from the book Try Not to Try, as well as a lot of other online resources However, I've started to really understand this very differently, and I start to notice that blend of personal and social, like how we see ourselves, how we see others, right? It's how you talk to yourself, how you talk to the world, and how you talk to the universe. There's three things that are really important to consider. Find your craft that will get you into Ue and Da. And with that, you will start to feel fine and know that you got to feel fine about what you're not doing, just as well as you can feel fine with what you are doing, okay? Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's get it to the upward spiral game.